Hello there. I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance that I am recording this on a smartphone. I don't have anything else that really works all that well. So anyway, to get down to the basics of this video, I just want to talk about knives you can get for cheap, like really cheap, that can work for you. You don't have to spend 30, 40, 50, 60, $100 on a knife just for survival, or whatever you want to call it. Um, I got these. This one was actually handed down to me. You could call it an heirloom, but I imagine you could find it at a garage sale for roughly the same price that I got this. Don't discount garage sales, by the way. You can find a lot of equipment there. I'm sure other people have already covered this, but you can find a lot of really good equipment there. Um, so, if you're like me, you hate going to garage sales, at least with your feminine companions, at least mine. Um, they tend to spend a lot more time on them than I do, because I'm a guy. I get in, I get out. So I have, but I use them as a scout. They like to go. I not so much. Plus, I don't really have time with school and work. Um, but anyway, the point is, I have my one of my scouts, as we call them, pick up any kitchen knife pretty much for cheap. And I say kitchen knife loosely. Sometimes I get really crappy ones made in China that are junk and I have no use for. Except for, well, I guess you can still use them as a knife, but as a pry bar or whatever else. However, occasionally I get a gem. Now, it's nice to have really expensive blades to take out to the woods with you for survival, prepping, whatever the heck you want to call it. But this one would work. This is a carbon steel steak knife. As you can see, it's got a fairly thick spine. It's full tang. It was made in the United States. It does have some rust. I've been working on it, but I haven't really cleaned it up much. Um, I've got some other knives, so it's not, important that I immediately get this up and running. But it is sharp. I mean, it'll shave hair. Um, and that's carbon steel. Now, and it's made in the United States. Now, this one was made in Japan. Um, and this was actually my grandmother's knife, and when she passed away, I said, I'll take this. And everybody was like, why? Well, because it's made in Japan. It's made out of what I would consider, it's probably, I have no idea what Japanese steel it is, but it performs really similar to 420. I mean good 420, not like cheap 420, but like buck 420 or, I don't know, OS 8 probably. I have no idea how old it is. I haven't really researched it. Now, it's not perfect. There's some scratches in the blade. But it's still bloody sharp, and it works really well. And this one, I would assume it's some kind of, probably pretty close to 1095 or 1085 or some kind of carbon steel that's, fairly common. Um, like I said, it's carbon steel. It had a little bit, it's still got a little bit of rust on it. You take your steel wool to it, you polish it up. I got this for 25 cents. Now, I don't know if I'd want a baton with it. I don't know. I would want to chop firewood with it. But you darn well better be sure that I would skin game with it, cut up meat with it, carve with it, whittle with it. Whatever you need to do, you could do with this. The steel is tough enough. The tang is thick enough. The spine is thick enough. It'll stay sharp enough. It will work. It's made in the United States. It's good quality. If you're handy with Kydex or nylon, you could make a sheath, or, I mean, Kydex is kind of expensive for this, or, leather. Whatever, it would work for you. You don't have to spend $60 on a knife to take out with you in an emergency situation or otherwise in the woods to be able to cut stuff. If you are willing to spend the time, put in the time, and look at garage sales, at church rummage sales, at all this kind of stuff, yeah, you can find pretty good stuff that you can use. Same with this. I would not baton with this, but I would definitely skin, slice, gut, whatever I needed to do. It's not as thick, but this is still a full tang knife. It's still good steel, made in Japan, good quality. Now, I don't usually take these out with me, but I would if I had to. I've got some other useful tools over there, plus some other ones I'm not showing you that I do take into the woods or wherever I'm going. Um, but I just wanted to let people know that there's options out there. If you go out there and you look for it, if you know it's not the number one priority, if you're not a knife geek and you just want a knife you can use for whatever purposes, it's not that difficult. Find a decent kitchen knife. You may look a little goofy, but find a decent one. I mean, it doesn't have to be this big either. You can find little ones. As long as they're good quality, made in the United States, made in Japan. Um, some of the Victorinox ones that are made in, um, is it Switzerland, I think? Probably be pretty darn good. Any of those will work. You can skin, you can carve, you can cut. I don't know what else, I mean, I know a lot of people love this batoning thing, love this chopping wood with their knives, but honestly, I don't know how practical that is. Um, I've done it, but as a side note anyway, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I've just found an axe works a lot better, but I'll make another video about that some other time. Alright, well, this is me signing off.